government is lowering the voting age here in the UK. It will allow 16 and 17-year-olds to vote in the next general election for the first time. The current age is 18. The Labour Party made the promise in its manifesto last year. 16-year-olds are already allowed to vote in elections for the devolved parliaments in Scotland and Wales. The pledge is part of a new elections bill, which will also expand voter ID options and move towards automatic registration. The government says the move will ensure that UK's democracy is fit for the 21st century. Our political correspondent, Jack Fenwick.
Welcome to the Westminster Brief. It is Friday, January 9, 2026, and the political honeymoon for the government hasn't just ended, it has hit a brick wall. Today, we are breaking down a magnitude 10 earthquake in British politics. Moments ago, a cross-party alliance of MPs formally triggered a vote of no confidence in Keir Starmer. What began as whispers of a Brexit betrayal has exploded into a full-scale mutiny. But that's not all. While the government fights for survival, they have also unveiled a radical new elections bill to give 16-year-olds the vote. Plus, a civil war is brewing in Kent, where Reform UK, the party of tax cuts, has just announced a massive council tax hike. Is the UK under siege from within? Let's dive deep. Our first major story today is a stark reminder that national security doesn't come cheap. Air Chief Marshal Sir Richard Knighton has reportedly delivered a bombshell to Downing Street. The Ministry of Defence is facing a £28 billion funding gap over the next 4 years. But how did we get here? For years, the UK has balanced on a knife edge of doing more with less. But with the escalating situation in Ukraine and the increasing complexity of modern warfare, from drones to cyber defense, the math no longer adds up. Keir Starmer's government is currently conducting a strategic defense review, but military insiders say this isn't just about trimming fat. We are talking about the potential cancellation of major naval projects or a significant reduction in troop numbers. At a time when the UK is discussing post-war troop deployments to secure Ukrainian borders, the idea that we are overstretched isn't just a political talking point, it's a national security risk. If the government doesn't find this money, the UK's standing in NATO could be permanently diminished. The spark for today's no-confidence motion is a secretive deal struck with the European Union. Critics are calling it a capitulation. For weeks, Starmer's inner circle has been working on a reset of UK-EU relations, but the leaked details have enraged even his own backbenchers. The deal reportedly hands back significant powers to Brussels, including reintroducing oversight by the European Court of Justice and extending EU fishing rights in British waters until 2038. For communities in places like Grimsby and Hull, this is being seen as a total sellout of the sovereignty they voted for. Inside Parliament, the atmosphere is toxic. We've had reports of shouting matches in committee rooms and senior Labour figures openly plotting in the corridors. This isn't just an opposition attack. This is a cross-party alliance determined to see Starmer removed. The question is, can he survive the night, or has he lost the red wall forever? Now, let's move from the front lines of war to the front lines of your wallet. Reform UK, the party that shook the political establishment by promising to smash the tax state, is facing its first major identity crisis in local government. Kent County Council is the party's crown jewel, the shop window for what reform-style governance looks like. But today, that window is looking a bit cracked. The council has proposed a council tax rise of nearly 4%. They aren't alone. Four other reform-led councils are pushing for the full 5% maximum. Critics are calling it a total betrayal of their election leaflets, which explicitly promised to freeze or cut taxes. Nigel Farage is now in a difficult position. Does he back his local councillors, who claim the bankrupt legacy of previous administrations left them no choice? Or does he distance himself to save his national reputation? This story matters because it tests whether Reform is a party of genuine change, or if they are doomed to fall into the same tax and spend patterns they spent years campaigning against. While the government fights for survival, they have launched a massive legislative gamble, lowering the voting age to 16 and 17. This aligns England with Scotland and Wales, where younger teens can already vote in devolved elections. But the timing is highly suspicious. Critics argue this is a cynical power grab to bring in 1.6 million younger, typically pro-EU voters to offset the Brexit backlash. The bill also pushes for automatic voter registration and an expansion of voter ID options. Is this about modernizing democracy, or is it a desperate attempt to rig the next election while the Prime Minister's house is on fire? As we wrap up today's briefing, we turn to the Department for Work and Pensions. The Public Accounts Committee has released a scathing report on unacceptably poor service for PIP, personal independence payments. We are seeing delays that are literally pushing people into poverty. The committee noted that improvements promised 3 years ago have simply evaporated. In a digital age, why is the department responsible for the most vulnerable still operating like it's the 1980s? The clock is ticking for Keir Starmer. His inner circle is scrambling to rally support, but the sense of betrayal in the country is real. Will the no-confidence vote succeed? Will 16-year-olds save this government? Drop your thoughts in the comments. This is a historic day and we want to hear from you. Don't forget to subscribe to the Westminster Brief and hit the bell icon for our emergency update when the vote results come in. I'm your host,